In the next few minutes, I'm going to expose 8 pasta brands tied to serious safety failures, from undeclared allergens that could trigger life-threatening reactions to listeria contamination that federal investigators link to deaths across multiple states. Plus, I'll reveal the 3 brands that are actually doing this right, with clean ingredients and nothing to hide. Stay until the end, because brand number 1 on the avoid list carries consequences that no grocery shopper should ever have to learn about the hard way. Let's start with what may already be sitting in your refrigerator or pantry right now. 8. 365 Whole Foods Market Private Label. When you shop at Whole Foods, there is a reasonable expectation that what appears on the label is actually what is inside the package. That expectation is a large part of why so many health-conscious shoppers choose to pay premium prices there in the first place. They believe they are getting a higher standard of oversight, a stricter level of care. So when the FDA posted a recall in March 2025 for 365 Whole Foods Market Small Bites macaroni and cheese, it wasn't just another routine safety notice. The problem had nothing to do with sourcing or organic certification. It was something far more fundamental. The product contained egg, and that egg was never declared anywhere on the ingredient list. For the millions of Americans living with egg allergies, finding an undeclared egg hiding inside a seemingly safe comfort food is not just a labeling oversight. It is a serious and potentially life-threatening health risk, the kind that can send someone to an emergency room. What made this recall particularly significant was that the affected frozen product also contained meat ingredients, and it had been sold at Whole Foods locations nationwide. This wasn't a narrow, localized situation. It was a nationwide distribution of a mislabeled product. Undeclared allergens are among the most serious violations the FDA tracks, and they represent a fundamental breakdown of the trust that food labeling is designed to provide. If you or someone in your household manages an egg allergy and regularly reaches for this private label line, reviewing what's currently in your freezer is a reasonable and important step. 7. New Seasons Market Grab and Go Private Label. New Seasons Market has earned a genuinely loyal following as the kind of neighborhood-focused grocer that prides itself on knowing its community personally and offering food that people can feel genuinely good about. That warm, community-rooted reputation is precisely what makes the circumstances behind this recall so difficult to reconcile. The FDA posted a recall for New Seasons Market Grab and Go macaroni and cheese after the product was found to contain egg that had been left off both the ingredient list and the allergen statement. Not just one of those 2 critical protections, both of them missing at the same time. For anyone managing an egg allergy or preparing food each day for a family member who does, that double omission strips away every layer of protection that food labeling is fundamentally supposed to provide. You read the ingredient list carefully and nothing appears. You check the allergen statement and still nothing. Yet the allergen is there in the product. According to the FDA notice, the affected items were sold at 21 New Seasons locations, spread across Oregon, Washington, and Northern California. Grab and Go sections exist specifically to feel effortless and trustworthy. You reach for something quickly because you genuinely believe someone upstream already verified it was safe. In this case, that belief didn't hold, and the oversight reached customers across 3 states before it was caught and corrected. 6. Kroger Deli Pasta Salads Private Label. Kroger stands as one of the most frequently visited grocery chains across the entire country, and for countless families, its deli section has become a reliable and convenient shortcut on busy weeknights. Ready-to-eat pasta salads feel like an uncomplicated, low-stakes choice, something simple you can grab and put on the table quickly. So when the FDA posted a recall in October 2025 for Kroger's basil pesto bow tie salad and smoked mozzarella penny salad, the reason behind it gave a great many shoppers genuine pause. The issue was potential Listeria monocytogenes contamination, and Listeria is not a bacterium to dismiss lightly, particularly for older adults, pregnant women, and anyone managing an underlying health condition. According to the FDA notice, Kroger's action followed a recall of the pasta ingredient itself, traced to a supplier called Nate's Fine Foods. That connection is critical to understand. When the foundational ingredient inside a prepared dish is contaminated, every product built around it carries the very same risk, regardless of whose familiar name appears on the package you're holding. A deli pasta salad feels simple and wholesome, but this situation is a clear and important reminder that any prepared food is only as safe as every ingredient and every supplier operating behind the scenes. The reach of this recall extended across many U.S. states, touching a wide and varied range of everyday Kroger shoppers. 5. Giant Eagle Deli Pasta Salad, private label. Giant Eagle carries genuinely deep roots in the communities it serves, particularly across Western Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, and Indiana. For generations of families, it has been a trusted and familiar part of weekly life. That long-standing sense of comfort and familiarity is precisely what makes the October 2025 FDA recall of Giant Eagle's smoked mozzarella pasta salad so important to bring forward. The recall was issued for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination, and the affected deli item had been sold at both Giant Eagle and Market District locations throughout those 4 states. Like the Kroger recall, this situation was directly tied to a nationwide recall of ready-to-eat pasta traced back to Nate's Fine Foods. Multiple grocery chains in different regions of the country recalling prepared pasta products connected to the same supplier within the same compressed time frame reveals something important about how tightly interconnected our food supply genuinely is. The store you trust and shop at matters enormously, but so does every supplier that store depends on. The trust you place in a regional grocery banner only extends as far as the weakest link in the supply chain behind it. Knowing that is exactly the kind of information you deserve before your next stop at the deli counter. 4. Sprouts Deli Pasta Salad, private label. Sprouts Farmers Market has deliberately built its entire brand identity around fresh, clean, health-forward food. It draws in precisely the kind of shoppers who are paying the closest attention to what they put into their bodies and who choose where they spend their grocery dollars based on that commitment. That intentionality is what makes this next situation so striking. The FDA posted a recall in October 2025 for Sprouts smoked mozzarella pasta salad for possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination. According to the FDA, the item had been sold from both deli counters and grab-and-go sections spanning 24 states. That is a broad and significant geographic reach. Sprouts connected the action to contaminated pasta supplied through Fresh Creative Foods and Nate's Fine Foods, the same supplier network that appeared in the Kroger and Giant Eagle situations. For older adults, a Listeria infection carries risks that deserve honest acknowledgement. It can bring on fever, severe muscle aches, and in serious cases can involve the nervous system or become life-threatening, especially in people whose immune response has naturally changed over the years. Shopping at a health-forward store is a meaningful and well-considered choice, but it does not automatically guarantee that everything arriving through the supply chain behind that store has been held to the same standard. In this case, it was not. 3. Albertsons Store-Made Deli Pasta Meals, private label. The sheer breadth of this next recall is what sets it apart from everything else on this list. In September 2025, the FDA posted a recall from Albertsons companies for store-made bow tie pasta salads and meals due to possible Listeria monocytogenes contamination. What made this particular recall so far-reaching was the number of deeply familiar store banners involved in a single sweep. The affected items were sold under Albertsons, Safeway, Vons, Randall's, Tom Thumb, Carr's Safeway, and Eagle locations spread across multiple states. If you have lived in the United States for any meaningful stretch of time, there is a very real chance that at least one of those names has been part of your regular grocery life for years, possibly for decades. Listeria contamination in ready-to-eat deli items carries a heightened concern precisely because these products require no cooking before consumption. There is no final heat step, no last safeguard, to destroy any bacteria that might be present. For adults over 45, particularly those managing other health conditions, or navigating the natural immune changes that come with age. That distinction matters more than most people ever pause to consider. A store-made pasta salad from the deli feels like an effortless and reliable shortcut. During this recall window, it carried a risk no shopper should have been asked to take. 2. Home Chef. Home Chef has grown into a genuinely popular option for Americans who want the convenience of a ready-to-heat meal combined with the reassurance of feeling like they know exactly what is going into their food. The central appeal of a meal kit brand is that sense of informed control, the feeling that someone has already thought carefully through the ingredients, the quality, and the sourcing so that you simply don't have to. That's what gives the June 2025 recall of Home Chef Heat and Eat Chicken Fettuccine Alfredo its particular and sobering weight. According to the FDA's outbreak page, this product was identified among the items recalled on June 17, 2025, in connection with a Listeria monocytogenes investigation. The affected packages were 12.5-ounce trays with a Best By date of June 19, 2025, or prior. What elevates this well beyond a standard precautionary recall is the extraordinary level of coordinated federal attention it ultimately drew. These Home Chef Chicken Fettuccine Alfredo meals were part of a multi-state prepared pasta Listeria outbreak investigation conducted jointly by the FDA, USD, FSIS, and the CDC. When 3 separate federal agencies coordinate a unified response to illness reports connected to a single product category, the situation is serious by every reasonable measure. Convenience should never come at the cost of the safety of the person eating the meal. This recall stands as a powerful reminder of exactly that. 1. Market side, private label. Nothing on this entire list demands more of your attention or carries more genuine weight than what unfolded with market side. This Walmart private label brand appeared on the FDA's prepared pasta outbreak page in direct connection with Fresh Realm products recalled on June 17, 2025. Market-side grilled chicken, Alfredo with fettuccine, was among those recalled items. But the situation did not end there. The FDA also listed market-side linguine with beef meatballs and marinara sauce in a September 25, 2025 public health alert after linguine pasta samples tested positive for Listeria monocytogenes. And then there is the number that puts absolutely everything else we have covered today into its starkest and most sobering perspective. According to the FDA, the prepared pasta outbreak tied to these products ultimately involved 28 reported illnesses, 27 hospitalizations, 7 deaths, and 1 fetal loss. Those are not abstract figures on a government document. Those are families. Those are real people who picked up a prepared pasta meal, the kind of unremarkable everyday purchase that millions of Americans make each and every week without a second thought, and face consequences no one should ever face from a grocery store trip. Market-side products are sold at Walmart locations across the entire country, meaning the reach of this outbreak was enormous. If there is a single brand on this list that illustrates, in the clearest possible terms, why food safety accountability truly matters, it is this one. A moment before we move forward. That was a great deal to absorb, and I want to genuinely acknowledge that. When you have been shopping at the same trusted stores for years, sometimes the very same stores your parents and grandparents relied on, learning that so many familiar labels appeared on federal recall lists within such a compressed window of time can feel deeply unsettling. That reaction is understandable, and it's worth sitting with for a moment. But here is something I also want you to hold on to before we move ahead. The recalls we just reviewed are concentrated almost entirely in prepared, ready-to-eat deli products and meal kits. That is a critically important distinction. When it comes to dry pasta, the kind you bring home and cook yourself from beginning to end with your own hands and your own care, there are brands operating at an entirely different standard. Brands whose ingredient lists are so clean and honest that you genuinely won't need to read them twice. Brands that have made a clear, consistent, and deliberate choice to keep things simple, traditional, and completely trustworthy. Let's turn our attention there right now because, after everything we've just covered, you more than deserve to know who is actually doing this well. Ancient Harvest. If you have never come across Ancient Harvest before, it is well worth a closer look, especially if you have been working to genuinely simplify your diet, manage blood sugar levels more carefully, reduce your daily sodium intake, or simply find pasta options that arrive without a long and confusing list of unexpected ingredients. Ancient Harvest Green Lentil Spaghetti lists exactly 2 ingredients: green lentil flour and organic quinoa flour. That is the complete list. No fillers, no binders, no stabilizers, nothing that requires a nutritional dictionary to interpret. For anyone who has spent years turning pasta boxes over and finding far more than they ever bargained for, that kind of honest simplicity is genuinely refreshing. Beyond that clean 2-ingredient foundation, this product shows 0 milligrams of sodium per serving and 0 grams of added sugars. For older adults keeping a careful and consistent eye on blood pressure or blood sugar numbers, those specifics carry real practical meaning. The product is also non-GMO verified and kosher certified, which represents a meaningful additional layer of third-party oversight covering how it is produced and sourced. Ancient Harvest isn't asking you to compromise on anything you care about. It is offering pasta that begins from a genuinely clean foundation and stays honest all the way from the package to your plate. 2. Dell'Olio. Dell'Olio carries a long and well-earned history in Italian-American kitchens, and there is a very clear reason why it has held that respected place across so many generations. Their organic spaghetti is made with exactly 2 ingredients: certified organic durum wheat and mineral-rich spring water. That is where the ingredient list ends. Full stop. The simplicity here is not a marketing strategy designed to catch your eye on a shelf. It reflects a sincere commitment to doing things the way truly good pasta has always been made, without shortcuts and without additions that serve the production process rather than the person who will sit down to eat it. Dell'Olio uses bronze die extrusion, a traditional and time-honored method that creates a slightly textured surface on the finished pasta. That texture has a genuinely practical purpose. It allows sauce to cling and coat the way it is meant to, producing a finished meal that actually tastes the way pasta is supposed to taste. The product is non-GMO, vegan, vegetarian, and kosher certified, making it a comfortable and easy fit for a wide range of households and dietary preferences. There is something quietly and deeply reassuring about a brand that simply has no reason to add anything extra. When the ingredient list is this honest, there is nothing to question and nothing to wonder about. What you see is precisely what you get. 1. Jovia earns the top spot on this list, and the reason becomes completely clear the moment you hold the package and read the label. Their organic durum semolina linguine contains exactly 1 ingredient: organic durum wheat semolina. Just 1. For anyone who has grown accustomed to turning pasta boxes over and reading through a column of additives, preservatives, and difficult-to-pronounce compounds, finding a single solitary ingredient is genuinely remarkable. It communicates something that no amount of advertising budget or clever marketing can manufacture or replicate. It communicates honest, straightforward, unhesitating trust. Jovial is non-GMO project verified, and their pasta is shaped using traditional bronze dies before being slow-dried at consistently low temperatures. That slow-drying process deserves a moment of attention because it represents a deliberate and meaningful choice. It takes considerably more time and considerably more care than the high-heat industrial drying methods relied upon by most commercial producers. But that patience and that care preserve the full integrity of the grain and produce pasta with noticeably better texture, fuller flavor, and a quality you can genuinely taste and feel. There is a quiet but clear philosophy behind a brand like Jovial, a conviction that truly good food does not need to be complicated. For older adults who have earned the right to know exactly what they are putting on the table, whether for themselves, for their children, or for grandchildren who look to them to make smart choices, Jovial represents something that deserves to be far more common in the pasta aisle. Complete, unapologetic transparency and absolutely nothing to hide. There you have it. 8 brands tied to serious, documented safety concerns, reviewed and acted upon by federal agencies, and 3 that are giving you exactly what pasta should be: honest ingredients, clean sourcing, and nothing added that has no business being there. Before your next grocery trip, take a moment to think about whether you are reaching for a prepared, ready-to-eat product or something you will cook yourself from start to finish. Look for short and recognizable ingredient lists from brands that source with intention, and remember that the safest meal is almost always the simplest one. If this video helped you make a more informed and confident choice for yourself or your family, please share it with someone you care about and consider subscribing so you never miss content like this. Thanks for watching.